Well, good morning, Patriots, Americans, Christian brothers and sisters alike. Well, for the first time since I've been alive, Iran directly tried attacking Israel last night in response to the bombing of the Iranian consulate in Damascus the other day. There are a few things that are going through their mind. One, knowing that Iran is getting closer to nukes. Did Israel start this on purpose as an excuse to go after it? Maybe, maybe not, but either way, Iran has no business having nukes, and it's probably a smart move. Two, did the Iranians think their bombs and drones were going to get through with the Iron Dome right there? I mean, what they did yesterday was put on a very, very expensive light show. I mean, God knows how many billions and billions of dollars they spent to have a very expensive fireworks show. Or was it just for show because the Iranians didn't want their country to look weak in the eyes of their people? Now, since Biden is funding both sides, you gotta wonder, well, are they trying to make the industrial military complex that much richer? With Israel, Iran buying more weapons. But what I did hear last night, which was disturbing, which now does kind of make sense from Steve Scalise, unfortunately. Steve Scalise said last night, maybe we should reconsider passing the border bill now. And to my response to that, says, don't you think, knowing what you know, Biden did this on purpose to get you to pass the border bill? Now, if you know what's in the border bill, it's also supposed to send money to the Border Patrol to so-called do their job, even though they don't need it. But in it is also military funding to Iran and Ukraine. What it should be really called, the Ukraine part, is the money laundering part. Because now all of a sudden Ukraine is losing the war. Remember how they told us Russia's got no chance? Ukraine's kicking their butts in this war. That's all we heard. When anyone who did a little bit of research would tell you the Russians were having their way with them. Did the Russians lose, man? Yeah, of course. I mean, it's a battle. It's a war. But if the Russians had wanted to, they were overtaking Kiev by the first or second day. And Putin said his intention was never to do that. It was to save the ethnic Russians in the eastern part of Ukraine from the slaughter of the Nazi Khazarians that have been living in Ukraine for decades and been controlling all the sex trafficking and all the drug trafficking. They're basically the cartel version of what we see in Mexico. So, this is a way to spend money in the Border Patrol to give the appearance that everyone knows it's crap, because we all know Biden, all it has to do is overturn the very same Trump executive orders. He overturned himself, and this would be fixed real shortly. As Mexico is trying to blackmail him, if you want to stop this caravan coming to the United States, we want $20 million. as Biden keeps provoking both Israel and Iran to go to war. Now, why is that dangerous, and why won't the Russians take the bait? Because we have a treaty to defend Israel, like we did with Ukraine. Well, Russia has a treaty to defend Iran and Syria. So if the Russians get involved, who will get involved? The United States. And Putin knows this. Putin knows this. He knows the game. You talk about an ex-KGB guy. This guy, I don't care what you think of him, is a man amongst little boys when it comes to Biden and the EU leadership. When I heard Steve Scalise say it last night, like, okay, Steve Scalise, are you that stupid? Are you worried about your ratings? Or are you in on it also? It is election season, and I've been saying Biden is trying to do what FDR did. His economy is terrible. His policies are terrible like FDR's was. FDR needed a war to bail him out, and that's what Biden is trying to do also. Danny knows he can't beat Donald Trump on any given policy. And let's face it, as history goes, the Americans have never changed commander-in-chiefs in the middle of a war. Although I think this would be a different one because everyone knows what's going on. This is not 1940s, the 1930s. It is 2024 where people have access to the internet, and we have independent reporters who actually do reporting now for us.
Hi, welcome to Duncan. We'll be right with you.
And order 300 for Matthew. And you have, thanks to TikTok and YouTube and Instagram, many ordinary citizens do their own reporting and tell you the truth. You know, it's funny, when the social media was called, the liberals thought this would be the final nail in the coffin for conservatives and for shutting out us. Instead, it became the opposite, and they had to censor us. Well, there you have it, everyone. Keep the country in prayer. God is still king. Jesus Christ is in control. We'll talk to you later.